What's good, niggas? Welcome to the Slop channel. I made that shit like 3 years ago as a pure joke with my fucking name on it, and I had to repurpose it and reanimate it just for this channel. So yeah, smash a like. That's probably the highest quality thing the Slop channel will ever get. But yeah, I figured it was on topic for today's Slop It, because today we're reacting to the Five Nights at Freddy's complete lore. I remember sitting around the bed with my sister in 2014 waiting for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 to drop. We were sitting there waiting, looking at the teachers like, oh my god, new Five Nights at Freddy's! And then it dropped and I was petrified. But anyway, smash like, sub up. It's time to get sloppy. The video we're watching is by FNAF. It's called The Complete Lore of the Five Nights at Freddy's Timeline. I know, crazy, we're not watching game theory, but you know, I kind of heard that his was a little, you know, not accurate, so we're watching this one. Plus, this one's the most recent. The Ultimate Time was like 3 years ago. I was gonna do that one, but you know. Uh-oh. This video contains flashing lights and jump scares. Viewer discretion is advised.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise with over a decade's worth of content, spanning countless games, books, and now a movie. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've never read the books. I've only seen the FNAF videos that explain the books. All I know about the books, they invented something called fucking Fazbear, and from that point, I kind of tuned the fuck out. Being real, I don't even know what the secret of the mimic is. I don't know what his secret is. You tell me. Reason that no matter whose timeline you watch, they all look different. Making a FNAF timeline is not easy. There are so many ways you can interpret this story, and this is mine. So let's start at the beginning.
That's a bar!
Back in the 70s, a company called Fazbear Entertainment got its start.
Wait a minute. That's the box from Secret of the Mimic, ain't it? I think that's the box from Secret of the Mimic. Look, I'm telling y'all, I only know up to Security Breach for the most part, maybe a little bit of Ruin, but I don't know anything about Secret of the Mimic. I don't.
By creating different props and mascot costumes.
I haven't even watched gameplay on that one.
For something called the Fall Fest. The Fall Fest featured various mascot characters such as a bird, an elephant, and the most popular of all, Fredbear and Bonnie.
All right, now look, I was gonna let you speak, but who the fuck are these dweebs?
All Fredbear and Bonnie.
Off-brand Orville elephant
costumes were so popular, Fazbear Entertainment opened a dedicated restaurant for them called Fredbear's Family Diner, featuring the same Fredbear and Bonnie mascot costumes from the Fall Fest. What Fazbear Entertainment didn't account for, though, was one of their animatronics from the Fall Fest going rogue.
No, oh god, every time I see this thing, I think about that one song that just wouldn't fucking end. There was that one song that took like 30 seconds to end, bruh. That's my favorite piece about this one character right here.
Ending in a giant fire, with most of everything from the franchise and fire destroyed.
Edited by Dan Cyber. Ain't that one of the game theory editors? You can't tell me that won't hard.
The specifics about the animatronic that went rogue and the fire are unknown and will likely be revealed next year in FNAF's next big release.
Oh my god, this came out a year before Secret of the Mimic. Damn, did everyone just give up on trying to complete the timeline? Is that what happened? I guess we aren't gonna learn the Secret of the Mimic
today. But we don't know much about how this fire occurred. We do know that after the fire, Fazbear Entertainment started phasing out of the mascot costume era. They needed something new. The two men who helped found Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton and Henry Emily, stepped up to the plate.
You can't tell me Willie Afton isn't fucking fire looking. That nigga is clean. Look at him. That hunchback is gorgeous.
William Afton was mostly the businessman of the two, handling all of the money, while Henry was the more creative one.
He made the robots.
Being in charge of building most of the animatronics and props for the company.
I know this much.
With the Fall Fest era of the company coming to a close, they were only left with Fredbear's Family Diner, the standalone restaurant created for the Fredbear and Bonnie
characters. Who are these dapper young fellas?
To replace the mascot versions of Fredbear and Bonnie, Henry went to work on new versions of the characters, eventually creating the new Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The same characters.
Nah, hold the f up. You telling me that you willingly took your child to an establishment that had that nigga, that big jawed bitch up there? What the fuck is wrong with you parents? What the f? I would never take my child to an establishment where the robot doesn't even look friendly. At least Chuck E. Cheese looks somewhat friendly and uncanny. This nigga just looks like a monster.
Bonnie. The same characters, but with new designs and new suits. Henry called them Springlock suits. These suits are able to double as both an animatronic and a suit that the employees could wear. To switch the suit from animatronic mode to suit mode, the employees could use a hand crank to pull back the animatronic parts, leaving room for them to climb inside. The spring locks that were helping to hold back those animatronic parts were very sensitive though, and with even a little bit of moisture, the spring locks could potentially snap shut.
I ain't gonna hold you telling me I can put my body in this and it can snap and kill me over a little bit of sweat, and you're gonna pay me like fucking pebbles to do this shit? How about you go suck my balls? I'm not doing that shit.
Crushing and killing whoever was inside. But if that ended up happening, Fazbear Entertainment had some common sense procedures set in place.
In case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience.
Or fuck the customer experience. I'll take all them niggas out with me. Fuck it. I'm gonna give them all something to fucking remember.
Fredbear's Family Diner ended up being super successful for William and Henry. Henry, so much so that other companies tried replicating it. Another company proceeded to rip off Fazbear Entertainment's old mascot characters by creating their own animatronic versions of them. The leader of the group was Nedbear.
Who the fuck? Wait, you telling me these guys are the off-brands of those guys? But they're so dapper.
Own animatronic versions of them. The leader of the group was Nedbear, a direct copy of Fredbear, followed by a hippo, an elephant, and a frog. All characters from the Fall Fest, and all with slightly different designs to avoid copyright issues. But while the rival company was able to replicate the designs, they could not replicate Henry's state-of-the-art technology. Their robots were poorly made and had to have giant batteries with exposed wires on stage with them. Naturally, the rival company failed.
So you telling me Henry's fucking machines, they didn't need batteries on the fucking floor. They could just maneuver powered within themselves. That nigga's too powerful. He was over here building cybernetics. Like, if he went rogue, it's raps.
By Fazbear Entertainment. With all of the success from Fredbear's Family Diner, William and Henry decided to branch out and create more characters for a new restaurant.
Now, these are the boys I understand. These are the boys I know. These are the clean guys right here. These guys used to be petrified back in the day, dog. Back when the game first came out, like, even Five Nights at Freddy's 2 wasn't out yet. These motherfuckers are the reason I started sleeping with the light on, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
Restaurant. In 1983, William and Henry opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, featuring Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy.
The gang's all here!
Fazbear's Pizza, Fazbear Entertainment was experiencing success like they've never seen before. But with two restaurants now open at the same time, more success also meant more work for William and Henry. The duo were so wrapped up in work that they started neglecting their own families. William was the father of 3 kids, the eldest, Michael, the crying child, and Elizabeth.
I ain't gonna lie, I hate that fucking logic. What you mean I'm neglecting my family because I'm focused on this bread? You want me to give my family less because I have less money because you want me to spend time with them niggas? The money will make up for it. I'm running 2 multi-million-dollar corporations.
The crying child has yet
Elizabeth
to have
will
a
be
100% confirmed name, so for this video, he will just be called the crying child. Meanwhile, Henry had 1 kid, a daughter named Charlie. The business partners spent most of their days working.
I think it's crazy that the crying child still, it took me like 5 seconds to even think of this question. Jesus Christ. I'm surprised the crying child isn't even identified yet. Like, we got like 7 different names for that nigga. What we got? I'm pretty sure Evan is one of them. That's the name I remember. I don't remember the rest.
Both created different ways of taking care of their kids.
Cassidy,
Henry was the robotics
ain't that what it was?
genius, so he used his talents to create a new animatronic to watch Charlie for him. It was called the security puppet. This animatronic would sit by the door of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and make sure that Charlie wasn't able to leave the building. This made it so Charlie could play at the restaurant while Henry worked, without Henry having to worry about her leaving the building or getting kidnapped. The robot was linked directly to a green bracelet that Charlie was wearing. If Charlie, wearing the green bracelet, tried leaving the building, the security puppet would spring into action. William, on the other hand, was the businessman of the company. He cared more about making money, but also saving money. Naturally, he decided—
I mean, obviously, if you're gonna stay rich, you gotta save that shit. No point. If I make $1 million and I go buy a $999,000 car, it's fucking stupid of me, ain't it?
To just force his eldest son Michael to babysit while he was at work. Michael was mostly in charge of babysitting the crying child. The crying child didn't have many friends, but he did have a close relationship with his plushies. These plushies were of characters from his favorite show, Fredbear and Friends, Fazbear Entertainment's newest cartoon, featuring Fredbear, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy.
I ain't gonna hold. Would y'all watch this? Would y'all watch these Freddy Fazbear Show Friends? Freddy Fazbear Show Friends. I said that since all the way wrong. You know what? Fuck it. I'm clearly dying this morning. That Red Bull ain't doing shit.
And Foxy. The crying child's favorite character, though, was Fredbear. He especially loved his Fredbear plushie. Although he loved the plushie version of the characters, the animatronics would soon become a different story. One day, while visiting Fredbear's Family Diner, the crying child saw something that would scar him for the rest of his life. While wandering the restaurant, he walked by the employees only room, where an employee accidentally left the door open. Inside the room was his father, William Afton, helping another employee into a spring Bonnie suit. But through the eyes of the crying child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic suit. The crying child was so young that he wasn't educated on how the mascot characters worked, so seeing a human be put inside of one terrified him.
That makes sense, actually. So he thinks he just saw someone get stuffed in there. I used to think he was just scared of the robots, and seeing somebody get inside of a suit terrified him even more because it was a human being in a fucking robot suit that he's afraid of. That's what I used to think it was. It never dawned on me that this nigga was scared of the suit because he thought someone was getting stuffed in that bitch.
When a child experiences something traumatic, their brain naturally tries finding ways to deal with that trauma. The crying child's way of dealing with his trauma was by creating an imaginary friend. This imaginary friend took the form of the object he loved the most, his Fredbear plushie. His new imaginary friend Fredbear followed him wherever he went, shape-shifting into flowers, hiding behind cars, and in the suit.
I didn't realize that nigga was shape-shifting. What the fuck? That It's all powerful.
Nobody being able to see him except for the crying child. When the crying child was overwhelmed, the plushie would talk to him and try to calm him down. Even when the plushie wasn't around, it was still able to speak to him because it lived in his mind. While the crying child was dealing with the trauma of seeing what he thinks was someone being stuffed into a suit, his brother Michael was only making it worse. Michael knew about what happened with his younger brother and used it against him. Every day while babysitting the crying child, Michael would put on a foxy mask, hide somewhere in the house, and
I ain't gonna lie, Michael, you the type of sibling that damn, that stutter was crazy. Michael, you the type of sibling that deserves a 9mm in the mouth and the trigger pulled backwards. I ain't gonna hold, bruh.
scare his little brother.
I ain't gonna lie, this video is like a fucking movie, dog. Look at this shit. Wonder what the budget for this. Yo, I think he spent at least like 2 bands on this video, bro. Maybe 3 bands. Uh-oh.
From the pizzeria to your living room, you no longer have to wait.
I ain't gonna lie, this house is fucking atrocious. Do y'all see this fucking layout, dog? This shit is atrocious, dog. Look at this crib. It's funny because the Fredbear plush probably the best piece of decoration in this room.
From the pizzeria to your living room, you no longer have to wait.
Did y'all hear the hard R in pizzeria?
Weeknights at 8, 7 Central, only on.
Oh shit. It's dark as hell. Turn some lights on. I don't want people to click off my video in the dark. You know my people got low attention spans. Bro, my viewers can't do silence. Thank you. I go hold some bullshit like this happened to me before. I was thinking about Uncle's house, and he had one of these grandfather clocks, and this was back in the time when I was petrified of Five Nights at Freddy's, bro. I was walking through, it had just struck 1 o'clock, and I remember the clock as I was walking to the bathroom, it said, ding, 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 ding. And keep in mind, this is in a 3-story house, and I'm walking from the basement upstairs to use the bathroom, and it starts doing this. So I book it downstairs back into the room, and I'm just terrified for the rest of the night, bro. I don't move until 6:01 in the morning, and I'm not even fucking joking. But she said she remembers hearing me just go, ah, and start sprinting, dog. Who the fuck even jump scared me, bro? That was so slow, I didn't even see who it was. I ain't gonna hold. This is petrifying, dog. Imagine seeing this bullshit, dog. Yeah, Michael, you deserve to die or whatever you get in this game, bro. You deserve it. I don't know what timeline this dude is using.
The crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear would comfort him and talk him through the
I know the game theory timeline the best.
He is hiding again. Be careful. Tomorrow is another day. Michael wasn't the only one bullying the crying child, though. The local kids in the neighborhood heard about why the crying child was so scared of the pizzeria, even making up fake rumors related to what the crying child thought he saw there. You better watch out. I hear they come to life at night. And if you—
oh, so they're all just toying with this nigga. Nah, they all some ass. It's a town full of assholes. They're all some Disney supervillains.
die, they hide your body and never tell anyone. But all of this bullying would come to a head on one special day, the crying child's birthday. Ironically, his birthday party was being held—
nah, you can't tell me. Look, I ain't gonna hold, as an editor, that transition was fucking cold.
The crying child's birthday. Ironically, his birthday party was being held at Fredbear's family
oh
diner.
my god.
Because he was so terrified of being at the pizzeria, he hid under the table, not knowing that Michael and his friends were nearby, planning a prank that would go terribly wrong.
Oh no, Michael, I heard about this prank. Michael, you an asshole. This type of shit would have been on 2014 YouTube, man. Michael, you are a butthole for this shit, man. I ain't gonna hold, Michael. You deserve that shit. Whatever you get, you deserve. You deserve to live with regret. If I was a officer and I sentenced your ass, I would not sentence you to death. I'll sentence you to life just because I know it would hurt you more. The reason I'm hating on Michael so much is because I used to be terrified of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Fazbear and Spring Bonnie will be performing in 5 minutes.
What the fuck? Was that Matthew Pat himself? Was that the Matthew Patrick I heard?
Make sure you grab your pizza. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie will be performing in 5 minutes.
That's the Matthew Patrick himself, the game thonker. Nobody's gonna question this dude underneath a table. Oh, nah. And my headphones disconnected from the computer right then, too. So all I heard was child screaming and this shit behind me. Jesus Christ, coming out some speakers. Fuck you, Michael, you piece of shit. No! Look at that nigga! Nah! Michael, you asshole. Why would you even think this is hilarious? What kind of psychopath are you? Oh, nah, he gave Fredbear a little smooch.
Michael and his friends lifted the crying child up to, quote, give Fredbear a big kiss, and Fredbear bit down on—
Wait a minute. Judging by their arm length here, how the fuck did they even reach Fredbear's mouth? Like, they are too short to even reach there. How the hell did that happen?
Him, leaving his body to go limp. Michael and his friends quickly stopped laughing because of Michael's—
Look at this nigga right here in the Freddy mask. He's hitting a double lat spread superhero pose while he's sitting there staring at this deceased child that he helped with.
Mature behavior, his terrified—
Why is he the only one that don't have pupils? What the fuck?
Younger brother paid the ultimate price. Although the crying child was badly hurt, he didn't immediately die. Because of the immense brain damage, he slipped into a coma. After being—
in this kind of case, you gotta let me immediately die. If I don't die immediately, just shoot me.
The crying child was taken home so he could be comfortable, surrounded by his only friends, his plushies. In the crying child's final moments, Michael decides to apologize for what he's done, saying, "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry."
Yo, what is an I'm sorry gonna do? You got me crushed by a 30-ton robot. Fuck you, Michael. Hold middle fingers up in the air.
After Michael speaks, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear, created out of the trauma he experienced, continues doing what it's done the whole time. It comforts him, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." This would be the final thing the crying child hears before he—
Really? I thought it was his father speaking through the plushie, or is he just trying to build up on that till we get both perspectives here? Is that what he's doing?
dies. The crying child's spirit would then live on in the Fredbear suit, the thing that took his life. The crying child's death wasn't just an accident. It was directly caused by Michael's recklessness. This is something that Michael could potentially—
I ain't gonna lie, you would make a— hey, look, I'm about to give y'all an idea, and if you guys make this an actual movie, I need someone to give me credit for it. Make a movie where the universe randomly shifts into like this one area where if you kill somebody, they become you, and then have it slowly become more and more realized in the universe, and then people are killing people to become them, and then it just becomes like this weird horror apocalyptic type thing. I don't know. I feel like it would be cool if you actually just sat down and like planned that movie out.
Faced jail time for, so it needed to be covered up. Since
session,
the crying child was being kept at home, no one else knew that he ended up passing away. So William and Michael ended up burying the crying child's body in the middle of the woods where no one would find him.
Damn.
No tombstone, no flowers, just a pile of dirt, an unmarked grave, and a lifetime's worth of guilt that Michael would have to live with.
I remember when people used to think that grave in the yard was a reference to the Twisted One. It's because they would dig themselves in the ground and come out like that. I thought that's what I used to think it was too, but I guess I was wrong.
Fredbear's family diner was quickly shut down, and Fredbear was completely wiped from existence. The Fredbear and Friends TV show turned into Freddy and Friends on tour. The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie Springlock suits also ended up being moved into the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, mainly being used as spare suits if one of the Freddy's animatronics broke down. The death of William Afton's youngest son was a pivotal moment in this story, specifically William Afton's story. This was the first domino to fall. A father losing his son is a traumatic situation, and while any other father would take time to grieve, be sad, and properly deal with such a big loss, William Afton took a different route. Afton definitely was upset about his son dying, but it wasn't because he felt bad for his son, it was because it was embarrassing to him. William Afton was a narcissist. He had little to no empathy. All he cared about was work and comparing himself to his business partner, Henry. Henry had a wife, a kid, and a talent for robotics that Afton was utterly jealous of.
So he slimed his daughter just because he was jealous that he still had his child? Willie, hey, you're kind of an asshole, buddy.
Death of the crying child sent Afton over the edge because while Henry's family was still perfect, his was now broken. Henry and William had different ways of taking care of their kids, and while Afton employing his eldest son failed, Henry's security puppet succeeded. Henry's daughter Charlie lived on. Afton—
so he wanted to make it go rogue.
Had a hard time dealing with this feeling of embarrassment. He started becoming an alcoholic, frequently visiting the local bar called Junior's. One night though, after drinking a little too much and getting kicked out of the bar, he decided that he was going to settle the score with Henry. Afton—
no, what do you mean settle the fuck? He ain't do anything to you! He didn't do anything to you! What do you mean?
Filled with rage, drove from the bar to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he knew Charlie was being watched over by Henry's security puppet. Afton planned on risking everything to kill Henry's daughter Charlie. He didn't care if he got caught, and he didn't care if he went to prison.
Dude, there are two differences. The only difference is that one, you're murdering this child because you're angry that your child murdered your other child. That doesn't fucking add up, buddy.
When he got to Freddy's, he noticed that Charlie was standing outside by herself. It turned out that some bullies were able to trap the security puppet in its box and lock Charlie outside the building.
No, I never noticed that shit. Y'all some assholes in this universe. No.
The perfect opportunity to kill
these
Charlie
enemies when you got friends like this?
The security puppet was eventually able to escape its box and went looking for Charlie. As Afton sped away, the puppet noticed that Charlie was outside in the pouring rain. It then did what it was programmed to do and went to protect her. But as the puppet got closer to Charlie's body, the rain started making it short circuit. It was forced to crawl its way over to her until the rain got to be too much, and the puppet shut down right next to Charlie's body. While Charlie and the puppet lay lifeless next to each other, Afton was speeding home, driving right past where he buried his son and the bar he got kicked out of. When Afton got home, he was met with his wife sitting in the living room watching TV, and Michael in his bedroom. Afton was a drunk and abusive father, and fully blamed Michael for what happened to his youngest son.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold, I just locked in on that score, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this is a cinematic masterpiece, bro. John from FNAF, you fucking cooked with this, bro. Jesus Christ, this is like cinema, dog.
Mrs. Afton tells him to leave Michael alone because he's had a tough day, but Afton doesn't listen. He goes over to Michael's room and pounds
do y'all hear this
only for the
soundtrack,
door to be
dog?
locked. He then makes his way around the house to try and find a way in from the outside. But once he gets to Michael's bedroom window, he notices that it's broken, and Michael was gone. Michael was so upset by what he did to his brother that he would sometimes see visions of Fredbear appear and disappear. Tonight, Fredbear appeared out.
Dude, you get the fucking "it's me" pop-ups just chilling, bruh. Nah, that's next level schizophrenia, buddy.
Outside his bedroom window, and it almost felt like his brother was calling out to him from beyond the grave. This would happen frequently, and every time it did, Michael would run to the spot where they buried his younger brother, only to find that nothing had changed. His younger brother was still gone and buried in the ground. Afton knew Michael did this often, saying, "Ran off to that place again. He will be sorry when he gets back." The guilt of killing his younger brother haunted Michael in his—
Wait, can you explain this to me? If this is what's happening here, he's breaking out the window to go see his little brother's grave, then what are the animatronic footprints for over here in the left corner? Like, what is that? Like, look at the very left over there.
Will be sorry when he gets back. The guilt of killing his younger brother haunted Michael in his real life, but also in his dreams. Michael would constantly have nightmares about the animatronic that took his brother's life. These were the exact same nightmares his younger brother used to have every night, now passed on to him.
Nah, that's low-key hard. See, look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. As an editor, I am really appreciating how the editing is on this. This is fucking fire. This is awesome. Dude, this is sick. Come on, my viewers can't do silence. You know how they are. Don't worry, y'all. I'll keep talking a little bit so y'all don't have to deal with the silence. I got y'all. How about them sit? Oh, hell no. Oh, fuck no. I didn't even see that. Hell no. Look at that bitch. I ain't gonna lie. If I saw some shit outside my door, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just gonna let it kill me, bro. If I don't have a gun on me, I'm letting it slime me. Cause guess what? What the fuck am I gonna do with this thing? There's no winning against that bitch. That thing can bite through steak with one tooth. You think I'm gonna fight that thing? No. You closed the wooden door. I'm a human being and I could punch through that door, man. What are all these flakes floating around in your room? Nah. Yo, you gotta have me on some drugs to sit here and be like, you know what? I'm gonna try and survive this. No, I'm gonna try and die in the easiest and quickest way possible if I see this shit in my house. Fuck no, that's 2 doors out of 3. No, I'm dying. Checkmate.
After the death of Charlie, Fazbear Entertainment tried their best at covering it up. Fortunately for them and for William, the crime was committed outside where no one was around to witness it. William was able to get away with
there were no security cams back then, was it?
Never spoke of the incident again. The security puppet was quickly moved to the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where the retired Fredbear and Spring Bonnie suits resided. But something was different about the security puppet. Dark tears now appeared on the mask of the animatronic. Dark tears that weren't there before. This is something that Afton quickly noticed the next day when he went into work.
Wait, so the robot painted itself. How the fuck does that work? What kind of magic robot parts was Henry using?
He'd heard about what happened moments after he sped off. He knew the security puppet was found laying next to Charlie's body. So does that mean Charlie's soul now resided in the puppet?
How do you gain that?
The puppet looked different. Almost.
How do you gain that conclusion from that? Just because it died next to it and it gained some crying streaks, does it fucking mean what is this logic? His theory is great, but Five Nights at Freddy's makes no. It all just runs on coincidences, man.
Like it was haunted, almost like it was thinking. Other employees would eventually notice the same thing.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking that can go anywhere.
After realizing the security puppet may be possessed by the spirit of Charlie.
Dude, that was modern day AI right there. Robots thinking and shit. Nah, it wasn't possessed. It was just artificial intelligence now.
Afton went back and looked at the crying child's Fredbear plushie, only to find that it also seemed to be haunted. The crying child feared for his life every single day, and that plushie was something he was able to cry and pour his agony into. Afton believed that this is what caused the plushie to appear haunted. It wasn't made alive by the spirit of his son, son, it was made alive by the agony and fear his son poured into it. Afton quickly became obsessed with the concept of haunted objects, and more specifically, the power of human emotion. He needed to find out if this is something he could take advantage of. Afton then used all of his money he made from Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to build a giant underground facility directly under his house. It was here that he would try to recreate what happened with his son, to recreate the fear and agony he experienced. In order
so you telling me Willie A was on his Epstein Island shit? Hell no, the Epstein bunker.
This, Afton didn't take any chances. He needed to replicate exactly what his son went through every day. In order to do this, Afton built a replica of his house underground, along with his son's daily walk to Fredbear's family diner. He also built a makeshift bedroom where he could force kids to have the same nightmare every night. Afton would sit in his office watching them on the camera.
The concept of forcing children to do anything just sounds rambunctious, Willie A. No wonder you're a psychopathic villain.
Cameras that could be accessed using the passcode 1983, the year his son got bit. He also kept the crying child's Fredbear plushie on the desk as a reminder of what he was trying to replicate. In the makeshift bedroom, there were dummy animatronics that wheeled down the hallway.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. No, I'm killing myself day one. I'm not dealing with this shit at all, man. This is too much.
But the kids wouldn't see them as just blank dummies on wheels. Afton would pump hallucinogenic gas into the room to get the kids to think that what they were seeing was a monster. These nightmare gas canisters were being stored all throughout his underground facility. And on the bed of this makeshift bedroom was a Freddy plushie, in the hopes that the kids would pour their fear and agony into the plush, like his son did to his plushie. On the other side of the bunker where Afton recreated the crying child's walk to Fredbear's, he placed a bunch of Fredbear plushies all over the place. These Fredbear plushies had walkie-talkies inside of them.
How do y'all niggas find this shit? Y'all be digging so deep in, bro. I would have never came to this conclusion. I thought he was just building a house. I didn't know he was laying that shit the same exact layout as the fucking house to the plate. Oh god, this is crazy.
This was Afton's way of recreating his son's imaginary friend that would talk to him wherever he went. Afton would speak to the kids through his walkie-talkie sitting in his private office. After setting up the bunker, Afton was only missing one more thing: the kids to run these experiments on. He needed a way to kidnap and capture kids without being caught, and he had the perfect way to do it.
Brother.
The show will begin momentarily.
Hold on, wait, you guys are missing it. Hold on, wait, I can't let you miss peek like this. Ah, boy, this is gonna hurt. It always hurts when I gotta move like that. I'm a little rusty in my knees.
Everyone, please stay in your seats.
Enter Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronic.
Alright, damn it, she's back. Alright, so... that hurts. Jesus Christ.
Featuring Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Ballora.
Yo, these are some sophisticated ass weapons.
Such as parental tracking, voice mimicking / luring, and storage tanks. Circus Baby, the star of the group, was even able to make ice cream as a way to lure kids to her. Once the kid got too close, a giant claw would reach out, grab them, and lock them in the animatronics storage tank. Some of the board members from Fazbear Entertainment were suspicious of these new animatronics.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
I ain't gonna hold. It's all making more sense, bro. I never really thought about the lore this hard before, but now that I'm actually sitting here thinking about it as I'm watching it, Jesus Christ, this is way more deep than I thought it was. Honestly, I knew it was some deep lore. I didn't know it was this deep.
Created a new restaurant for these animatronics called Circus Baby's Pizza World. Elizabeth, William Afton's daughter, was fascinated by Circus Baby. All she wanted to do was play with her, but Afton wouldn't let her.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? You let the other children go see her?
Because it's designed to kidnap and slime children, so don't walk over to it or you're gonna be the next test subject, buddy.
Why won't you let me go?
He strictly told her to stay away from the animatronic, but one day she didn't listen. On the opening day of Circus Baby's Pizza World, another domino would fall in Afton's life, and Elizabeth would soon be the victim of his terrible misdeeds.
I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream, although I only did it once.
Ooh, although I only did it once. You gotta admit, that's a bar. That's low-key a fucking bar. She cooked with that one. That's a bar.
I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. They usually play together in groups of 2.
Yo, I remember when I first watched a game theory video on this and they said she was counting children. My brain, for some reason, I thought this all the way up until now, honestly, because it just hit me. She was always counting because she was waiting for it to be just her and the child so she could strike. She would never do it if there were 2. That's why she was always counting. It was the I don't know why that threw me off. I used to think she was just bored as shit standing in there, but no, it's a robot designed to kill children, so it's counting them. It's only gonna strike when there's only you and the target. I never thought of that.
3, then 2.
Then 1.
Time to play.
Come on, my viewers can't do silence. Hi, baby.
Ice cream.
Oh, God. Brother.
Something happened when there was 1. I was no longer myself. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment.
In an instant, Elizabeth was grabbed by Circus Baby and thrown into her stomach hatch. The sheer force of her being grabbed and thrown into the robot's storage tank was enough to kill her almost instantly. This is something that
good. At least she died instantly, bro. If you would have been alive for that shit, then GG's, man. GG's. That's sucks. But the fact that she died immediately, that makes me feel a little bit better. Never mind, I don't feel better about this child getting slimed, bro. What are you talking about?
Test. That was until his daughter became the test. William Afton now lost another one of his kids.
Do it himself.
It was all his fault. After just one day of being open, Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down. Afton covered up the incident by telling the public that the restaurant shut down due to gas leaks. But not everyone bought that story. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, in other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been canceled due to reported gas leaks in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. One local is quoted as saying, everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it. A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture. That local entrepreneur,
dude, I never read the email parts, like the little news headlines. I'm not gonna lie, this one about them moving stuff out, I never read this one, honestly. I never even seen this before, and if I have, I don't remember this. Right,
building under
no wonder you lore people are always cooking up. This is awesome.
There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture. That local entrepreneur, William Afton, successfully covered up everything. He was able to bring Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics back down into his bunker, but once he got them there, he noticed something was different about Circus Baby. One distinct feature about Circus Baby was her blue eyes, but what once was blue eyes now were green, the same color as Elizabeth's. In that moment, he knew that his daughter's soul attached itself to the robot. Her soul lived on in Circus Baby. Afton knew that the way Charlie went on to possess the puppet was sloppy, and it was hard to recreate without getting caught. But what if the kids' bodies were hidden where no one would ever look? What if, just like his daughter, their bodies were stuffed into the animatronics? For Afton, Elizabeth's death quickly went from just another inconvenience to a scientific breakthrough. Afton was one step closer to harnessing the power of life itself. But one successful experiment wasn't enough. Just like the fear experiments he built in the bunker, he needed to replicate exactly what happened. He needed to recreate the accident, and he knew exactly how he was going to do it. Using the Funtime animatronics again wasn't an option. Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down, and the public was already getting too suspicious of the animatronics. But he didn't need the Funtime animatronics.
Oh, we're back to the 3D animation. He was about to cook.
On June 26, 1985, William Afton made his way to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There, he would put on the old spring Bonnie suit from Fredbear's to lure 5 kids into the back room.
Took a swim with my new friend.
Oh, whoa.
Didn't care, I jumped right.
Uh-oh. Who's about to get slimed? Who's about to get slimed? Oh, I remember this mini game. Or if I ain't gonna lie, if I saw this shit behind me, you're getting. I can't say I'm gonna fight your ass. You're a fucking 10-ton robot with glowing eyes. I can't do shit about you.
Looking for a friend?
No, I'm not. No.
Swim with me.
Oh, see, I thought I would have a chance to get like a snarky remark in. Nah, he was ready. He was ready to strike. Look at the boys up there. The gang's all here. Are we sure Willie A was just addicted to killing people, or was he like a Epstein type of guy? Was that what was going on here? It's
one
me
by
just
one,
happened.
Afton killed them and stuffed their bodies into the animatronics. Susie was first, being stuffed into Chica. Gabriel went into Freddy, Jeremy into Bonnie, Fritz into Foxy, and then there was Cassidy, who went into Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy. At this point, Afton had no idea that the crying child spirit was in Golden Freddy, so he didn't think twice about shoving Cassidy in there. The way Afton killed Cassidy, though, was different from the rest. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were just regular animatronics. Afton had no choice but to kill them, then stuff them into the suits. But Golden Freddy wasn't just a regular animatronic, it It was a springlock suit, the same springlock suit that took his youngest son's life. Afton was aware of how dangerous the springlocks were. Any bit of moisture or too much movement would cause them to snap shut, slowly killing whoever was inside. So that's
why would you
exactly what
use
he did
them?
to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the springlocks snapped shut, cementing Cassidy's death as the most
I thought he was gonna say he crawled in that bitch. No, what do you mean? What?
What he did to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the springlocks snapped shut, cementing Cassidy's death as the most brutal of them all. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy weren't the only animatronics sitting in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, though. They were joined by the security puppet, which contained the soul of Henry's daughter, Charlie. Once Afton was gone, Charlie jumped into action, almost acting as a guide for their souls, properly giving them life inside of each animatronic. After the incident, the kids were quickly reported missing.
Wait, they didn't gain control of themselves? They had to wait for Cassidy to do it for them? How does that work? How did she just automatically gain like super powerful animatronic possession powers with remnant and shit? Yet they didn't.
By their families. And although the security cameras caught Afton luring the kids away, he wasn't able to fully get in trouble. Since he was wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, they were never able to prove it was actually him. Afton also hid the kids' bodies where no one would ever look, so the bodies were never found. Unbelievably, Afton was able to get away with yet another crime. Because of all the bad press that came from the missing children's incident, people stopped coming to the pizzeria. After months of customers no longer showing up, Fazbear Entertainment officially shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Shortly after the pizzeria shut down, Afton decided to pull the Funtime animatronics out of retirement and finally get his underground facility fully operational. He knew he couldn't try opening
he was gonna start renting them out because he knew he could open up another one. Oh my goodness. The slop. Wait, what is it called? The phrase is the slop thickens. Oh my goodness.
Circus Baby's restaurant, so he had a new idea.
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment. Unlike most entertainment venues, our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day.
Oh my goodness! I ain't gonna lie, this is a big brain strap for good old Willie A, the big purple man, the man behind the slaughter.
Afton opened Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. This way, he could rent out the Funtime animatronics to local birthday parties, capture kids, and bring them back to his underground bunker to be experimented on. While Afton was running his rental business, Fazbear Entertainment was—
because the children will go missing inside of the suits, and nobody will be able to find the children because they're in the suits. That's actually a genius trick.
Determined to try opening another pizzeria. In the summer of 1987, Fazbear Entertainment opened the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, this time with brand new versions of their original characters. These were called the toy animatronics, and they were once again built by Henry. Henry was aware of what happened in 1985, and especially of what happened to his daughter, so he was determined to make sure that never happened again. These new toy animatronics were equipped with facial recognition systems that were linked directly to a criminal database. The security puppet was also brought out of retirement, but instead of working security, it sat quietly in the prize corner. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy—
I'm not gonna lie, in theory, the concept of robots at a kid's entertainment place face scanning to find criminals, like just scanning their face to find— that's actually a solid idea. If it wasn't for the whole scanning your face thing, I'd be a fan of it. But that's actually a smart idea, honestly.
And Spring Bonnie were also moved
maybe Chuck E. Cheese could be like an exception to that kind of thing.
Were mostly used for spare parts.
By now, I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the—
like, imagine if you had like a robot, and like imagine if Chuck E. could just scan the building for like a EDP or something.
And we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them, but they were just so ugly, you know, and the smell.
This means that the haunted metal of the original Freddy's animatronics was now being put into the toy animatronics, causing the toys to also now be possessed. After Afton got away with the first set of murders, he needed to see if the kids' spirits were possessing the animatronics. In order to see for himself, Afton went back to work at the new pizzeria as a daytime security guard. While Afton was working the day shift, Jeremy Fitzgerald was working the night shift. Jeremy worked—
You can't tell me that's not a hard name, though. What's your name? Jeremy Fitzgerald. Nah.
For 5 nights, and unfortunately
he could be a rapper with that type of name.
Possessing the animatronics were killed by an adult, they were extremely aggressive to any adult they encountered.
They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Meanwhile, Afton decided to pull the same trick he did at the old Freddy's location, gaining 5 more victims.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Afton used the Spring Bonnie suit to pull the same stunt again on 5 more kids. But as he was committing the murders, Charlie, from inside the puppet, was actively trying to save the kids. She tried enlisting the help of the other animatronics, but it was too late. Afton had already finished what he started. Not only that, him seeing the puppet and Freddy walking around the pizzeria trying to stop him was all the proof he needed that his experiment experiments were successful. The kids he put into the original suits were haunting the animatronics. But there was one problem. Afton knew that the haunted metal of the endoskeletons was the key to everything, but the animatronics were trapped at the pizzeria. There was no way he could bring them back to his underground bunker. He couldn't get to the animatronics.
Wait, so let me get this straight. So the robots, they're not possessing the suit, they're possessing the metal. I get that part. But the part that's like tripping me up a bit is, let's say for example, if he took the endoskeleton out of Freddy and put that bitch in Chica, would the souls still switch? Because I'm under the impression that like once a suit is possessed, if you put like the metal of that suit into another suit, it branches off. Like you don't just fully swap the possession suit, basically spreading the virus of that one to both. That's what the impression I was getting. I still don't understand if that's what's happening, but that's the impression I get.
The pizzeria was still open
I might be
and active,
wrong, though.
so he needed to find a way to make sure the pizzeria shuts down and fast. Instead of stuffing the new set of victims into the toy animatronics, he decided to leave the kids out in plain sight, scattered throughout the pizzeria. This was a guaranteed way to get the pizzeria shut down. A few hours after Afton committed the murders, Jeremy Fitzgerald showed up for his night shift, unaware of what happened that day.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
The next day, during Jeremy's day shift, one of the animatronics bit him in the head. This was infamously known as the bite of 87. Meanwhile,
what the fuck you mean that's the bite of 87? Jeremy's the bite of 87? Really? I didn't notice. Wow, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, there are two bites then. I thought they just had a retcon.
Successfully got the pizzeria shut down. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying after being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. Since the toy animatronics were now being scrapped, he knew he could get away with taking their endoskeletons. But he also knew that he couldn't—
I ain't gonna lie, that's fucking genius. That's get the place shut down because you can't take the asset. So when it shuts down, you can take them. I ain't gonna lie, that's a big brain strat. I would have never thought of that.
Risk showing his face at the pizzeria again, so he got his oldest son Michael to do the work for him. William was easily able to get Michael to do whatever he wanted. William was abusive and manipulative, while Michael was haunted by the guilt of what he did to his younger brother. Because of this, Michael basically acted as William's puppet. Michael showed up for the night shift at the now closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza under a code name, Fritz Smith. At the end of his shift, he would successfully steal the toy animatronics endoskeletons for his father, causing him to get fired his first day on the job due to tampering with the animatronics. As it said in the local newspaper, while Fazbear Entertainment scrapped the toy animatronics, the original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were going to be fixed up and reused. And that's exactly what they did. After the 1987 Freddy's location shut down, they opened yet another location.
The building had the old ones in the back. I do know that. How did the old ones that were possessed end up in the building in the first place? Like, did he I think if he said it and I missed that part, that's on me. But you're telling me he brought all the old possessed ones, put them in there with the new ones, and then it slowly started to transfer over? Is that what? Oh, wait, no, I get it. They said that he put I'm thinking about it now. They said they used some of the spare parts and put them inside of the toys, right? So that's why the toys started to get possessed, right? So that's how the virus spread it, because they used the parts in the toys too. Oh my god. Okay, I get it. That's how they're all possessed. And then when it gets shut down, they close the place and they put all the parts of the toys back into the newer parts, right? So it just removes the possession from the toys and puts them back in the old ones. That's what I'm getting. Okay.
This time using the exact same building as the first Freddy Fazbear's
I think I'm starting to understand a bit.
This didn't work out great for the business. People already had a bad impression of Fazbear Entertainment, so using the same building that the original murders took place in didn't help business. Customers barely showed up to the new pizzeria, leading it to shut down by the end of 1993. Although this was bad news for Fazbear Entertainment, this was great news for William Afton. Afton was able to acquire the endos of the toy animatronics, but that wasn't enough. He needed all of the haunted endoskeletons, especially the ones in the original animatronics. Once the pizzeria shut down, Afton came up with a plan to steal the endos from the animatronics. Each pizzeria was designed with something called a safe room.
As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronics or security system. This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and is always off camera.
This room was hidden from guests and invisible to the animatronics. Afton would use this to his advantage, luring each of the animatronics to the safe room and dismantling them one by one. The kids possessing these animatronics were the same kids he lured into the back room all those years ago. He planned to use the same trick to lure the same kids all over again.
Bro, this is actually like a movie. I am locked in. This is like a movie, dog. Why did he have that thing strapped down like that? Look at that. Why is it laid down in this freaky position? What are you doing, Willie, eh? We know you love robotics, but not like this. Oh no, hell no. Fuck no. You telling me I'm looking at this bitch through the screen? That's already creepy as it, but look, you telling me I'm looking at this? Slime me immediately. They look like they're waiting for you to run. As soon as you run, they're copping. Oh, hell no. Fuck you, nigga. Who is willingly taking this job, man? Now that nigga too fast. He's a little too quick to be sitting in that room, dog. The other ones are already terrifying, but this one's a little too quick. Oh, he got them glowing ass teeth. What the fuck is happening here? What these niggas doing? Damn, he slimed them.
Once he finished dismantling each animatronic and stealing their endoskeleton, he brought them down to his
I did not know that's what they were portraying.
He would melt them all down into one liquid substance called remnant.
Not that remnant, that's the fucking phrase. I fucking love that word, remnant. Scott, you cooked with that word. I say remnant all the fucking time. You cooked with that one.
Not only did Afton rob these kids of their lives, he would use their souls long after they're gone for his own personal gain.
They died and he's playing puppet master with them. Nah, Willie A. Nah. And just threw him on the ground. Locked him in that dark room. Nah. Rest in peace, little niggas. Rest in peace. Or pieces, because you know you get melted down to the fucking remnant, as they call it. I'm not gonna hold. This dude William's a complete psychopath, dog. Oh, this is cinematic as shit, I can't lie, bruh. Hollywood don't even be doing shit like this no more.
By melting down the endos, he successfully created remnant. This substance, containing the spirits of all of the missing children, was silver in color, and if kept at the right temperature, was malleable. Afton didn't want to risk testing the remnant on himself, so he injected it into the Funtime animatronics. Once he did, the animatronics jumped to life. The experiment had worked. William Afton unlocked the power of life itself. After his successful experiment, he went back to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to collect his old spring bond suit. But once he got there, he was met with the spirits of the 5 missing children, trapping him inside the safe room. Cassidy, the spirit inside Golden Freddy, chased Afton around the room and forced him to get into the spring Bonnie suit. Cassidy was the most vengeful spirit of them all. Being spring locked in the Fredbear suit was a painful and slow death, and he wanted to make sure that Afton knew what that felt like. At this point, Afton knew how a spirit could live on. As long as he was inside the suit, he knew he'd be back.
So he did that on purpose. He went through the pain of being spring locked on purpose just so he will fucking live forever. This is a psychopath. He said, fuck, I'm endure the pain for like 30 years and then I'ma kill your bitch ass. He knew the risk. He did it on purpose. Nah.
As Afton laughed, the spring locks snapped shut, forcing him to go through what Cassidy went through. This was an act of revenge by Cassidy, and it wouldn't be the last. Afton was now confined to the safe room of the now shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and because of this, everything in his underground bunker was left abandoned. But even with Afton gone, the rental business continued on its own. All of the Funtime animatronics containing the spirits of the missing children and even his daughter Elizabeth were still being rented out during the day and then brought right back down to the bunker. All the spirits wanted to do was escape, but they were always put back underground. After Afton went missing, his eldest son Michael, who's been blindly helping his father, remembered what his father told him if he ever went missing. If William wasn't there to finish his work, Michael would do it for him. Afton's underground facility was always off limits to Michael.
You little doormat. I bet you sat there and said, Daddy said I need to do this and fucking hopped to work, didn't you? Fucking doormat. You need to free think for yourself, buddy.
But since he was now gone, Michael had no choice. He took the elevator down to where his father worked every day. Although Michael was helping out his father by stealing some of the endos from the animatronics back in the day, he never exactly knew what William was doing until he got down into the bunker.
You know what's crazy? Now that I think about it, William Afton designed this building to have a gigantic fucking futuristic elevator, and then you have to crawl through a vent to get to the actual laboratory, man. Like, come on, man. All that bread you put into it, and you didn't even put a hallway. You put a vent. Oh wait, no, he didn't want them big ass robots to escape. That's why. Never mind.
Over the several days he visited the bunker, he learned more about what his father was up to. He learned about the massive facility his father built, complete with multiple rooms conducting fear experiments. He learned the truth behind the Funtime animatronics and how they were actually designed to kidnap kids. And he learned through the voice of Baby exactly how his sister died.
A little girl, standing by herself. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least not until she stepped closer.
But as the week went on, Baby was conducting a plan of her own, a plan to escape the bunker using Michael's body. Elizabeth was no longer the person
Hey, look, this right here is why people hate AI, bro. I ain't gonna hold, because they trying to make free thinking robots. Isn't there an AI social media out there, bro?
She was entirely devoted to her father and would do anything to make him proud of her. At the end of the week, all of the Funtime animatronics endos were scooped out, with all of them combining into one animatronic called Ennard. This creature, containing the spirits of the missing kids and Elizabeth, knew they wouldn't be able to escape the bunker looking like an animatronic. They needed a human body to walk around in.
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today. Melora has already been here today. Circus Baby has already been here today. I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's no.
And this inner fucking talking, you sack of shit. I hate this voice mimicking shit, bro. That right there is a mind game you don't want to play, dog.
There is nowhere to go when we look like this. But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
I've always said this, the scooper is the most terrifying thing in fiction. Like, come on, man. You telling me this, I'm gonna put it on screen. You telling me this thing, the scooper, doesn't petrify you? Look at this.
Michael Afton's insides got scooped out and replaced by Ennard, helping all of the souls to escape the facility. With every passing day after this happened, Michael looked more and more like a walking zombie. His skin was starting to turn purple, and people started to notice. Michael's body was no longer a good disguise for Ennard, so Ennard ejected itself from Michael. But because
I fucking love the clips of bro just slowly walking down the street, the happy music playing, and everyone's getting slowly more petrified of his appearance, dog. There was one time I watched a compilation of it, and I was just laughing hard as hell for like 30 minutes.
The scooper was also a remnant injector. When Michael Afton was scooped, he was also injected with remnant. The remnant made it so even after Ennard
it was a remnant injector. I thought I just scooped you out. That thing, oh man. Wow, I never caught that, man. Jesus, you FNAF theorists are crazy, man.
After Ennard was gone, he was still able to survive. With Michael now back in full control of his body, he had a new mission. Although he did, one way or another, successfully free his sister from the underground facility, he also learned about all of his father's terrible misdeeds. His loyalty to his father turned to disgust. It was time for him to end all of this.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it.
The most iconic line, bro.
It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now, but something is wrong with me. I should be dead.
Look, oh yeah, this is a terrible time to be laughing, but I want y'all to see this real quick. Robert just commented on my video saying, why did you say good boy 3 times? And I'm like, well, why did you count? Why was that what you picked up on?
But I'm not. I've been living in shadows.
I want you to understand that means he either heard the first one and just started counting since then, or he heard it twice and then went back and started counting just to see how many it was. Like, come on, man.
There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Nah.
Michael would spend years searching for his father with no luck, until a new ad in the local newspaper caught his attention. Someone decided to open something called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Local amusement park is getting ready to scare your socks off with a new attraction based on the unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Featuring actual relics from the decades-old pizzeria, this new attraction is guaranteed to bring back your childhood in the worst possible way. As if using the crimes of his father to make a profit wasn't bad enough, they also went back to the old pizzerias and collected any objects they could find to put on display at the attraction. Michael immediately applied for the job of of the security guard with the sole intention of burning the place to the ground. When he got there, he saw the remnants of his past, the shells of all of the animatronics, missing every single one of their endoskeletons. He knew they could only find the shells of the animatronics because he and his father stole their endoskeletons all those years ago.
I never thought about the fact they only had the shells. Dog!
Only the shells behind. On day 2 of working at the
my
attraction,
brain, it
he got
hurts.
word that they found
My brain,
a
it
real
hurts.
animatronic.
My brain, it hurts.
We found one.
A real one.
This real animatronic ended up
I feel like that's one of the most iconic lines of this entire franchise, dog.
being his father, still inside the spring Bonnie suit he died in decades ago. Even though his father was now in the building with him, he still decided to go through on his plan, all in an effort to end his father once and for all. Michael then rigged the wiring in the building to catch fire, burning the horror attraction to the ground with his father inside.
I like how this franchise is just cursed with fire at all times.
The local newspaper would write about the fire, saying a new local attraction based on an ancient pizzeria chain burned down overnight. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment it seems to have been caused by faulty wiring. Although the fire destroyed most of everything in the building, William, miraculously, was able to survive. William was now free, roaming the outside world along with the
How is he? How did he live? How is he just immortal? He got that much plot armor? I ain't gonna hold it at that point. I would be doing this fucked up shit too. I mean, you telling me he can't lose? He has infinite life. No matter what, he always survives. Like, what the fuck? I mean, he always comes back. Apparently, I'll be doing the same shit.
Of the missing children, Elizabeth, and Charlie inside the puppet. Since Michael wasn't able to end everything, someone else needed to step in. That someone was Henry Emily. Afton's old business partner and father of Charlie heard about the fire at Fazbear's Fright, along with the rumors of the various animatronic creatures now roaming the streets. Henry was determined to put an end to all of this.
Oh, nah.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature.
You can't tell me Henry's voice isn't fucking iconic, dog. That shit is fire.
This monster that
Connection Terminated is crazy.
As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound.
I wouldn't be able to sleep too if you told me my creations were now sentient and mad because they were murdered, man. You told me my 8-ton robots are now sentient and angry. I'm not gonna be able to sleep either.
First inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again.
Damn.
I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now. Not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
By gathering all of the animatronics in one place and locking them in the same room, he would be able to burn them all to the ground for good, effectively freeing their spirits in the process. In order to do this,
I like how when he created this building, he just knew they would return.
A new restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. He knew that the spirits and William couldn't resist coming back to a new location, even if it was all just a trap. Charlie was different though. She was smarter than the rest, so Henry knew she wouldn't be as easily fooled. So he created an animatronic called Lefty, standing for lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract, specifically to capture the puppet and bring it to the pizzeria. While trying to find someone that would help him carry out his plan, one person showed up for the job. A person who was also determined to finally end all of this, Michael Afton. Day after day, the animatronics roaming the streets would show up in the alleyway next to the pizzeria. Baby, aka Elizabeth, the souls of the missing children, and the crying child, now appearing as Molten Freddy, Charlie and Lefty, and his father, William, all showed up in the back alley. Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them.
I know he gets a lot of hate, but I'm one of the only people to say that I think that this design is fucking fire for big brain over here. I ain't gonna hold. I think that shit is clean.
Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them into a facility.
It's just this
under
one
the
frame on the left that looks bad, man.
With no exit, where the animatronics would roam around without even knowing they're trapped until the end of the week, where they would all be burned to the ground. With all of the souls, including William himself, now in one place, Henry's
like legit. It's just that one picture, like the one he has on his screen right now of the William Afton guy, the Scrap Trap. That guy, this is the only screenshot he looks terrible in. All the other ones he looks fine in.
In one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing. All of this remnant now in one place was all that they wanted.
The term remnant is hard, dog.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No, this was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we
You're
can
wrong.
do what we were created to do.
Connection
and
terminated.
Be complete. I
Nah.
will make you proud, Daddy.
Connection
Watch,
terminated. Kick in.
listen, and be full.
Connection terminated.
No.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember.
Yo, hold on, wait. If he plays the entire freaking thing, I'm letting y'all know. I'm not saying a word. This is the most hype thing I've ever heard. I love this entire line. I'm just gonna let it play if he says it.
That name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed.
Oh, he's gonna let it play.
You're not here to receive a gift.
He's gonna let it
You've
play.
been called here by the individual you assume.
I gotta stand up.
Although you have indeed been
Oh,
called.
no.
You have all been called here. Into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit. A maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will.
No.
This is where your story ends.
Damn.
And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest
pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. Nah! Whoever wrote this, dog, you cannot. Nah. You need a Grammy, dog. Emmy, something. Whichever one it is, you need one of those, bro. You need something. You need like a Nobel Peace Prize or something at least.
If you can hear me, I knew you would return.
A Medal of Honor.
It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms the way you lifted
everyone else. Nah.
And then what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then.
So let me save you now.
It's time to rest for you and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends for all of us in communication.
Henry putting fire to the enemy.
That had no business going so hard. I don't care what nobody say. That shit goes hard. I remember the first time I heard that shit, I was just standing there. I was like, this is the hardest thing Five Nights at Freddy's has ever dropped. Nah.
Animatronics may have freed the spirits from the metal of the robots, but some of them still needed help actually moving on into the afterlife. This help would come from Charlie. She helped guide the spirits into the robots. Now she would help them move on. In the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, the way a spirit can move on is by them being put into a happy memory. The memory Charlie chose actually comes from the crying child and the day he got bit. Piece by piece, Charlie put that terrible shattered memory back together, but this time she would change it into a happy memory. Instead of the crying child getting bit on his birthday, Charlie changed it so that all of the missing kids and Charlie would celebrate him, giving him a giant birthday cake. By changing that terrible memory into a happy one and attaching all of the spirits to it, they were able to successfully pass into the afterlife.
I didn't know that. That's a cool conclusion. But how did Secret of the Mimic f this up? Are the souls about to play tag or something?
They were all able to move on, except for one.
Oh, nah! Nah! Ultimate Custom Night we talking about, huh? Yo, wait. You know how much hatred that takes? That thing flew all the way down to hell to grab this nigga. Think about that.
Cassidy, the most vengeful spirit of them all, wasn't done yet. He decided to attach his soul to William's, making sure that William was unable to move on. By attaching his spirit to William's, he was able to trap Afton in an endless loop of death. He made Afton relive every one of his terrible misdeeds. The fear experiments, his underground bunker, and the pizzeria where Cassidy was killed. Afton experienced all of this while being attacked and killed over and over again by all of the animatronics from his past. Every time an animatronic would attack him, Cassidy would be there, reminding him that the suffering will never end.
We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us.
Cassidy knew that Afton didn't deserve the afterlife. He deserved to pay for what he's done for all of eternity. But if you keep up with the franchise, you know that that's not the end of the story. Like I said at the beginning of the video, making a FNAF timeline is not easy, no matter what anyone says. In broad strokes, you can explain the basic plot, but once you get down to the motivations and the why of everything, you have to start filling in the blanks yourself.
Dude, I can't wait for him to get on those newer games, bro. Honestly, bro. I need to figure out what the secret of the Mimic is. I need to find out his secret. But yeah, boys, this is a long one, ain't it? I ain't gonna hold the Five Nights at Freddy's lore went deep. I didn't know it got that deep. I didn't know that, dog. It was mainly the newspaper part about the Circus Baby World shutting down and stuff, about talking about how they were seeing people move stuff out. I've never seen that before. I don't know how I've never seen it. But anyway, if you're new around here, make sure you smash like, sub up, hit the playlist or able to slop every single day, and hit the video on the left. That one's picked just for you. Google's AI chose that one. I don't know what the f that slopic is, but it might be something good. Go click it. Click bitch right now.